Well, buenos dias, LULAC. I'm very happy to join you on this wonderful occasion marking LULAC's 87th National Convention and Expo. We applaud LULAC, who has been at the forefront of addressing the critical issues that impact the Latino community. It's imperative for companies like ours that recognize and support organizations like LULAC for their hard work and their commitment. President Roca and LULAC's Executive Director, Brent Wilkes, thank you for your leadership and unwavering commitment to your organization and membership. Congratulations to you and the entire LULAC team. This is an important year for all of us. In a few months, the nation will be choosing our next president, and today we had a great opportunity to hear directly from Secretary Clinton. This year is also exciting for us at Toyota, as we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the world's best-selling car and the most popular nameplate among Hispanics, the Toyota Corolla. Woo! This great car has been a giant for us. We're also happy to share that this year, Hispanics have purchased more Toyotas than any other vehicle in the United States, making Toyota the top-selling automotive brand among Latino consumers now for 11 consecutive years. And Corolla has always been an important part of that success story. Please take a look at this very short video. As part of this celebration, we have traveled across the country commemorating Corolla's 50 years at various events. And we thought we would ask our loyal customers to participate in this celebration by sharing their own Toyota Corolla stories and memorializing them in fun ways. So far, we've been amazed and surprised to see the role that Corolla has played in the lives of Latino families, like we just heard about. At Toyota, we long ago recognized that the Latino market, with $1.5 trillion in purchasing power, is part of our future. By 2050, Hispanics will comprise 1 in every 3 Americans. In record numbers, Hispanics are going to college, buying homes, launching businesses, and taking leadership roles in all areas of our nation's life. To date, Toyota has contributed $800 million to grassroots organizations and nonprofits to help them expand their services and uplift communities, including our safety programs such as Buckle Up for Life and Teen Drive. We also have a minority procurement program that creates jobs and stimulates economic opportunity in Latino communities throughout the nation. I'm proud to say we have a record number of women and minority-owned businesses who supply our manufacturing facilities with everything from truck beds to the upholstery in cars. It's abundantly clear to us at Toyota that when Hispanics succeed, so do we, and so does everybody else. That's why our mission is to sustain and forge long-standing relationships and partner within this important organization, such as LULAC, that work to make the Latino community stronger in education, health, entrepreneurship, and public service. We are a company that's proud of giving back and supporting the people who support us. I will end with this. Toyota and Lexus are extremely thankful for your support, making us the #1 auto brand with Hispanic consumers in the U.S., and we will not take that for granted. Thank you very much, and have a great, great convention.
Thank you for that introduction. And congratulations to LULAC and Roger Rocha and Brent Wilkes and the entire LULAC family for this amazing event. Hasn't it been great so far? Univision is proud to be a partner with LULAC and with everyone in this room who works tirelessly to advance the Hispanic community on the issues that matter to us. This is especially true today as we find ourselves at the center of a new America, a center energized by our community, one of the fastest growing and most vibrant segments of the U.S. population. This is especially true in this election year. And to that point, I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to your right, you will see a voting booth saying Vote for Your America, which Univision, in partnership with LULAC and others, have started a campaign to encourage Latinos and others to vote. And you can go there and tell us why you're going to vote this year. You can also, if you're interested, text to 21333, and the information's over there on this, either vote or vota, depending on which language you want, and you can get information on where you can vote and how to vote and where your precinct is and everything like that. 60 years ago, Univision opened its first station in San Antonio. For the Texans out there, you know San Antonio? We started way before corporate social responsibility was a cool thing, which it is now among companies. We started as a mission-driven company, committed to informing, entertaining, and empowering our community. As the community grew, we did as well beyond that San Antonio station, but we've stayed true to our mission. Now, I can keep talking, but we all know that a picture will tell 1,000 words. So if that's the case, a video will tell 1,000,000 words, and that'll make my speech a lot shorter. And I think in today's connected world especially, it's more important to see things than to hear it. So since I work for a media company, I'm going to just stop talking and start showing you some of the work we've been doing in partnership with LULAC and others in our community.
You're broken down and
Se encuentran los sobrevivientes.
Bienvenidos a este foro comunitario.
And you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and
Tiene una misión en la vida, defender los derechos de los inmigrantes.
we gon' walk it out and
Convierte cada momento en un momento de aprendizaje.
mountain.
Son muchas las dudas que existen.
And I'll rise,
Tienen miedo de cuánto va a costar.
I'll rise like
Hoy todos debemos tocarnos el corazón y ayudar a estos niños.
I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
Y el ganador de la beca Juventud es
And I'll rise
Joeleni Merán.
up.
¡Felicidades!
Son más de 200,000 personas las que han aceptado el reto 28.
Y gracias a esas donaciones, mi hija está viva. Gracias.
Because of Univision, that's why I became a citizen, and I thank Univision for that.
Univision me llegó a salir adelante.
Can you promise not to deport immigrants who don't have a criminal record?
This year, my grandfather was diagnosed with ALS. He can't speak to us anymore and he can't walk, but he can watch with us. The only thing that's kept us together is Univision.
Univision ha sido una escuela.
Nos abrió la puerta para entender, o sea, que no es tan difícil.
I would have never been able to attend college.
Esa emoción que me regaló Univision fue lo que me llegó a salir adelante.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for such kind introduction. Buenas tardes a todos. Es un gran placer estar aquí con ustedes hoy. Hello, everyone. I would like to start by thanking LULAC for the opportunity to address an organization that has had such a profound and positive impact for Latinos in America for many, many, many years. At AT&T, we continue to be proud and a strong supporter of LULAC as we together foster stronger partnerships between corporate America and the Hispanic community so well represented here in the room today. Moreover, I'd like to thank LULAC for the fantastic work in bringing more Latinos into the voting community through citizenship and voter registration drives. Is especially important right now, as we heard just 45 minutes ago. As I look out among this crowd here in our nation's capital during such an important year, I have to ask myself, why am I here? I'm not a politician. I'm certainly not representing some worldwide charitable organization or negotiating any sort of treaty. I just work for a company that brings news and entertainment into our lives. Anything from Hollywood blockbusters, the best in sports, even the Orange County Housewives. And frankly, the last time that I addressed an audience of this size in something that was not technology related was about 10 years ago. It's been a long time. But I remember it very clearly. I was asked to speak to the Latin American Engineering Society in Seattle, and I gave them what I thought was a good, honest, and pretty straightforward speech. Actually, I was quite proud of the speech, but I have to tell you, they never invited me again. Okay? So that was 10 years ago. I'm still waiting for the follow-up. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm between you and your lunch. Hopefully, I won't get the same response. But the more I think about that speech, the more the stronger I feel about the basic ideas behind it. Back then, I was asked to speak about my experience being a proud Latino American engineer. But really, that's not how I felt about the subject. I felt that instead, I wanted to speak about being a very proud Latino, very proud Mexican, a very proud engineer, and a very proud American. And that those three things are distinct. And here's why. I don't know if you know how many Latino American engineers there are in the United States. Unfortunately, it's a very small number. And I just did not think that speaking to Latino American engineers could have the positive impact that I was looking for. I wanted to speak more broadly, and I wanted to try to address a broader set of groups. As a Latino, as a Mexican, as an engineer, and as an American. That way, I felt that I was going to be able to try to make a positive impact in a broader set of communities. And my story, certainly in this group, is not unique. Like many of you, I went to school in a different country, in my case, in Mexico. I received an engineering degree from Tecnológico de Monterrey about 100 years ago. Yeah, hey, arriba Borregos. About 100 years ago. And I took my first job at RCA, an American company, in a factory in Mexico, overseeing the manufacturing process. And so basically my job was to make sure that the production line kept on running. Okay? But it was very quickly that I realized that if you wanted to make a bigger impact as an engineer, you had to be where things get created, not just in the factory where the goods were produced, in this case, televisions. So I found an opportunity with RCA and moved to the design team in the United States in the beautiful city of Indianapolis, Indiana. I was the only Latino in the design team at that time, and certainly I was the only one that had studied in Mexico. So, I was a bit different, let's say. And to be honest with you, that made me feel less equal. Growing up in Mexico, you have this expectation of American universities being the absolute best in the world. And, I was a little bit, let's just say, concerned. But when I got there, it was very quick that I realized that working alongside people that had very impressive resumes, what was important is what you can accomplish, not where you studied, not where you came from. And while our background certainly can influence the opportunities that each of us has, at the end of the day, it should not dictate or limit the opportunities that we create for ourselves. And so this realization, thank you. This realization really transformed my thinking and inspired me to try to achieve more than I ever thought was possible when I was growing up in Mexico. It was really a powerful moment for me personally. It was a life-changing moment and something that put me in the path where I am today, speaking to an audience like yours. And it's a mindset that really I wish more of our young people could have, because it translates into a better future in whatever career, whatever path they choose. That is what's great about America. It's about what you do, not where you come from. That's very, very important for me. That means also, but that means we have to take ownership of our own path, okay, of the path that we follow. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, and it's not always going to be easy for everybody. So I believe that it is up to us as leaders in the community to show others the way to get this done. Today, a significant percentage of our youth wear the same blinders and the same concerns that I once did. They come at things from a position of disadvantage right off the bat. And that creates many, many problems. Just let's look at the statistics for science, technology, engineering, and math, otherwise called STEM. We talk a lot about how the U.S. trails other nations in STEM skills, and that is actually true. But when you look at the Latino community in particular, the problem is even worse. Latinos, as Secretary Clinton mentioned, represent about 17% of this country from a population point of view. But we only represent about 10% of the bachelor's degrees that are earned in STEM-related fields. And I don't know about you, but I find that to be appalling. That is a huge gap, and we have to work in closing it. It means we're missing out on the unique insights, experience, and imagination of an entire population of young adults. Doesn't make any sense. More importantly, what is it that we can do about closing that gap? Studies show that students are overwhelmingly interested in STEM studies when they reach their freshman year in high school. Yet, by their senior year, their interest has dropped significantly. There are a lot of things that contribute to this, some of which we collectively can't control or influence. But there are places where we as leaders can make a difference. Perhaps the biggest thing that we can do is to instill confidence and help young people understand their own potential, so that they don't take themselves out of the game before even the first pitch or self-select themselves out of that design team in Indianapolis, Indiana. This starts with exposing more Latino students to STEM-focused education and STEM-focused careers at a younger age. It means mentorships, whether it's individually or through university or business partnerships. Okay? By the way, I happen to work at a company, AT&T, that understands this. The AT&T Aspire program is about helping young people succeed in school. And a big focus area for this program is STEM skills. But until we can move Latino STEM numbers up to and even beyond the national average, we'll continue to miss out as a nation, not just as a Latino community. This is really personal for me because today's STEM students are tomorrow's innovators. They'll develop new medicines that save lives. They'll create new business models. They'll create the jobs that come with all of those businesses. They'll become doctors, scientists, inventors, and like myself, engineers. Especially engineers, not because I'm one, but because engineers build the things that connect people. Bridges, runways, smartphones, routers, social networks. And connectivity is an incredibly powerful force multiplier. If you look at my field, communications, we've come a long, long way over the past few decades, building the complex networks, virtual highways that have transformed the way we live and we work and we play. In the process, they have made this a much smaller, much more connected world. Social networks, by the way, let me humbly brag that I'm sharing the stage with a presidential candidate. That's definitely going on my Facebook in 2 minutes. Connectivity brings, thank you. I hope a few of you like it. Connectivity brings families together across great distances. Okay? With children, 3 children in my case, across all of the United States, this is particularly important for me. And I know it's a big deal to all of us, considering how important familia is in our culture. Today, we can communicate more freely than ever before because we're not worried as much about cost, time, or complexity for those communications. My children are more connected to their family, their cousins, than I ever was, even though the distances that are involved are much greater than when I was growing up. And because of this virtual world that we live in, there are fewer and fewer barriers to staying in touch with others. That's one of the main reasons that I'm so proud to be working with AT&T, at AT&T, because we are all about building connections, building bridges. Only 2 weeks ago, I was in Toronto. Last week, I was in Los Angeles. I flew in here from Monterrey. And throughout this whole time, yes, thank you, Monterrey. Throughout this whole time, I had never had to worry about roaming, never had to worry about internet data speeds, because I could always have access to these great services. Over the last couple of years, AT&T in particular has been investing significantly across all of the Americas, mostly in Mexico, helping build bridges throughout the Western Hemisphere. In fact, AT&T today touches just about all of Latin America, all the way to the southern tips of Chile and Argentina. Our wireless, wire, and satellite networks have the potential today to reach close to 1 billion people across the region. So Latin America is extremely important for AT&T. Think about the benefits that this brings to our business. Trading across borders to any entrepreneur, the ones creating the next Uber or the next Instagram, to a mother that is trying to stay in touch with their children. The world wins when we collectively expand these economies, not when we build barriers to growth, to commerce, or to employment. Thank you. It is truly the rising tide. The more we connect, the better we understand each other, and the more empathy we have for each other's fears, for each other's emotions, for each other's dreams. I know we all believe that this is a world worth working for, and I certainly do. So it's to each of us to make this happen. It starts with a deep understanding about who we are, each of us as individuals, and how each of us can make the biggest difference in this world, the biggest positive difference. It's looking at your role in your community, your experience, your identity, and thinking about how you can leverage all that into helping others in ways that can be very big or can be very small. They're all ways to help. For me as an engineer, it's about setting an example and being the best engineer that I can be. It's about succeeding so that others may be able to envision the same for themselves. It's about recognizing what I've been giving and then giving some of that back to the community and to others that need it as much as I did at one time. As a Latino, it's all about taking advantage of my experience to encourage others, to help them understand that they have within themselves what it takes to succeed. There's no more powerful motivator than knowing that if others can make it, you can make it too. We have to show that as an example. And as an American, and I think this is very important in the age that we're living, it's about respecting and contributing to the culture that provided me the opportunity to better myself, regardless of where I came from, regardless of where I studied. It's a unique opportunity, and it is not afforded, unfortunately, to a good proportion of this world. For that, I will always be grateful to this fantastic country. Decades ago, AT&T used to air commercials that urged people to reach out and touch someone. Today, that really could not resonate more. Reach out and help a young person achieve more than she or he thought they ever could achieve. Be a mentor, build a bridge. There's no better investment of your time. There's no better investment of your time. And obviously the returns are incredible because what you create and what you change is lives. You will change lives. And you will help make this country even greater than it is today. Muchas gracias, LULAC, and thank you to all for this afternoon.